Hi, Canada. Greetings to my 400 affiliates across the planet and everyone listening on HughHewitt.com or Town Hall TV. You can watch, of course, at both places. Wow, what a week. We meet on April 24th in the year of the plague 2020. The United States has suffered 49,887 deaths as of the last official toll. It's no doubt over 50,000 by this morning. The world, 2,660,000 deaths, 2,660,000 cases, 176,000 deaths. These are all because of the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP. Never forget that. The scourge of the world, the suffering of the world, the deaths of your loved ones, the illness of your loved ones, all because of the CCP. And it will ever be so. Mike Pompeo explained it yesterday at great length. Good for the Secretary of State. I hope he keeps doing it. Congress passed $484 billion more of relief yesterday, but jobless claims have skyrocketed. A New York study suggests that 1/5 of the city has already had the virus, exposed to it. That also suggests a much lower death rate than we had thought. Stockholm is now at 25% exposure. They chose to go with the herd immunity rack. There are earlier deaths in the United States than had previously been imagined. I talked with a young man yesterday who was just deathly ill in January in the district in D.C. Couldn't get out of bed for 4 days. And beginning to think, did China actually hide this from the world much longer than when we suspected they did beginning in December? Did they hide it in November? Goodness knows what would have happened to this country if President Trump had not stopped flights from China in January. All we did was buy time to make mistakes and add capacity, which was going to happen at the beginning of any crisis. I'll be talking with Dr. Larry Arnn about that today. A battle looms in Congress over relief for struggling states. I will have a new Washington Post op-ed out on that. Any relief for the states, as Leader McConnell said on the show this week, has need to be tied to reforms in the states that are profligate. It can't be just, oh, you're a state, we'll give you money, you're a state, we'll give you money. No, some states are well-run. Other states are corrupt, sometimes criminally so in the case of Illinois. Some states are completely reckless, like Connecticut. That column will go up at the Washington Post a little bit later today. I want to remind you all that it's been a big news week here at the Hugh Hewitt Show. Between the interviews with Attorney General William Barr and the interview with Leader McConnell and John Thune, you need to go and check all of my offerings at my YouTube channel if you want to listen to those interviews. The Bill Barr interviews for the books, for history. The Mitch McConnell interview is the beginning of a long, drawn-out debate that will be very, very vital to the future of the United States. They're both at YouTube. You can also follow my Instagram account, my Facebook account. You can do all of these things, and Mike Pompeo's interview from last Friday about the WHO is there as well. This is where we make news. We just don't report news. But I do want to tell you what is not news. The president did not call for injecting people with bleach yesterday. I saw, as a start, what Jedrick Wills, by the way, welcome to Cleveland, Jed. The Browns got their nasty left tackle. Nasty being good in this case. You want your left tackle to be Joe Thomas, nice outside of the yard lines, and Joe Thomas nasty inside of it. And Jed Wills, as they call him, I guess he's called Jed, is the man. The Browns got to draft their choice of 3 tackles. There were 4 great O-linemen last night. One was Andrew Thomas, who was top of my board, but I don't know anything about offensive linemen. I just liked the way he talked. He went to the Giants, poor guy, but he'll have a great career there for it. And then it fell exactly as the Browns needed it, and Jedrick Wills went at number 10 to the Cleveland Browns. I'm just so happy. He is, and that means they thought he was better than Becton and Wirfs, who are great young men up too, and they went very quickly soon thereafter. But it was just a terrific night. But as I was watching, I was in draft mode last night. I put away the cares of the world. Did not talk to any of the family except by text here or there. We were debating which one to take with my Browns extended family, and I was congratulating Urban Meyer. I mean, what a football factory Ohio State is. What, they have 3 first-rounders yesterday. They have the most first-round draft choices in all of NFL history from the Ohio State University. And what a tribute to Coach Urban Meyer. I mean, he must be just dizzy with pride for the young man he recruited, inspired, coached, and put on a great life path. They're all great young men. But throughout that whole night, I watched a member of the elite media trash Trump, trash the president for saying something he didn't say. He did not say inject yourself with disinfectant, inject yourself with bleach. I watched it. He was extolling the Department of Homeland Security's study that ultraviolet rays get rid of the virus. And talking out loud, how can we get those rays onto people? Can they help people? Is there some way? Thinking like a layman, thinking out loud. And of course, the White House press corps is basically Joe Biden's advance team. Not all of it. 3/4 of it could just as well get a check from Joe Biden. So and then 95% of the Beltway media is Joe Biden's advance team. And I got Mark Shorter coming on. I just got Mark Lauder coming on later. I'm going to ask him, does it make sense for the president to meet with Joe Biden's advance team every day? And so I watched that unfold, and I thought to myself, this country, Bill Barr, in his interview with me this week, warned that a danger to the republic comes, not just from the virus, but from a monolithic, ideologically unbalanced press. And that's what we have in the United States now. They are frothing, and they're not very smart. They are intentionally dumb. Now, the president tried to set upbeat tone. Cut number 8. This is Donald Trump at the presser yesterday.
Later this evening, we expect the House to pass Paycheck Protection Program and Health Care Enhancement Act. I'm grateful that Congress is answering my call to deliver these additional $320 billion in relief for the American worker and for small businesses. At a time when many Americans are enduring significant economic challenges, this bill will help small businesses to keep millions of workers on the payroll. You see, states are starting to open up now, and it's very exciting to see. I think it's very awe-inspiring. We're coming out of it, and we're coming out of it well. And I'm very happy the governors really have been doing a really good job working with us, and it's really pretty impressive to see. I've spoken to numerous leaders of countries over the last 48 hours, and they are saying we're leading the way. We're really leading the way in so many different ways.
We are leading the way, and we're doing a great job. And 50,000 Americans have died, so it is not a time of joy, but it is a time of resolve. Later in the day, I'm going to be talking with Dr. Larry Arnn, Churchill biographer extraordinaire, president of Hillsdale College, about leading in a crisis. Sometimes you end up in a war you don't want, but it's all the CCP's fault. And they have now opened an active disinformation campaign to blame us. I mean, just the weirdest conspiracy theories when it came out of a lab in Wuhan, and people need to know that. London this morning announced they are furloughing 7,000 government employees on the transportation system. That's going to happen in every country. It's going to happen in every state because there are no revenues. There are no passengers. We also find that German businesses have suffered an extraordinary collapse in confidence, which is not unusual. It's just the canary in the mine. We'll find that everywhere. The global death toll passing 175,000, it's going to double and double again as it comes around. Russia reported a record number of daily deaths on Friday, 6,000 new cases, 60 deaths. Just getting started there. Other good news, Boris Johnson going back to work next week. And President Trump got in a shot at Joe Biden. Cut number 17.
Yes, thank you. Looking forward to November, to the election. Given the risk that the flu and the coronavirus there could be a problem. Do you think there is a risk that there will be lack of agreement, lack of legitimacy to the results in a very close election, and people start saying, well, a whole bunch of people couldn't go and vote because they were scared?
I can't tell you what's going to happen in an election. Yeah, great question. I can't tell you what's going to happen. We have a sleepy guy in a basement of a house that the press is giving a free pass to, who doesn't want to do debates because of COVID, and lots of things are happening, right? And I watched a couple of interviews, and I say, oh, I look forward to this. But they're keeping him sheltered because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, you know what he's saying? He's saying Joe Biden does not have the energy to run for president. I agree with him. Good chance he won't be the nominee. Good chance American people are not going to want to change horses in midstream, especially if we're on the upside. A market report when we come back. I'll check during the break. You are listening. Don't forget Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. It's the Hugh Hewitt Show.